The show is brought to you by World of Warplanes. To check out World of Warplanes absolutely free, just head on over to offergb.com/warplanes. What's up, all about it? Welcome to Game Breaker episode 3, January 16th. Doing the show in the dark tonight. F it, doing it live. Actually, I forgot to turn lights back on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Breaker, the show. I'm Gary Gannon. Got lots of stories to talk about and things and news and all that jazz. Joining me, Mr. Pat Coleraine.
Do you remember my name? It doesn't matter. It doesn't
I almost said
matter.
Pat Coltrane.
I know.
Yeah.
he was distracting me with
already,
these. Because he's distracting me. He's distracting me like with this. Like, how can I look over here and all I see is like, you know, head bobbing and orange sunglasses and it's hard and all right, Coltrane's back.
Yes.
What's up,
I'm
gentlemen?
Cole Crane. I'm Cole Crane. Nice to meet you.
Cold Crane.
I'm sorry I wasn't here last week, Gary. I had to get another job. I got a job at a bakery. I was low on money and I needed some dough.
Oh. Ba-rum-pa.
But all he did was loaf around, so they fired him.
Oh,
That's right.
Nice follow up. Follow it up.
Crane! Rock you like a hurricane!
That's right.
Ooh. All right.
You're in shadow, Gary.
I am
Gonna be one of those nights.
It's
Like
one of
a
those
dark
nights.
shadow.
I don't want to do lights. It's too freaking hot in the studio, and I'm like, screw it. Let's just do shows without lights. Television
Come
works
on,
like that,
man.
right? You do
I
shows
want to
without
see your
lights.
beautiful face.
Imagine if they just like you turned on like Fox or MSNBC and they just shut all the lights off. That'd be. We're a professional outfit here, Coltrane. We don't care if the lights are on or off.
Come
Do you want
on.
me to turn the light on?
GG.
Do you want me to turn the light on?
Yeah, turn the
I'll talk-
lights on, man. See that beautiful
Turn the
face?
light on.
Oh, we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
oh. Here
We are
go.
doing this
Going
live.
over to the light switch, which is apparently way over there. All right.
Wow. Oh, wait, he's going left. He's going
And then
right.
he goes right.
Hey, there he is.
Is that better?
Gary!
Hey, that's better.
Woo!
That's better.
All right.
There you go. GG, Gary Gannon. GG.
GG, sir. Good
I bet you've
game.
never heard that before.
Never.
You've never. Mm-mm.
How about
You know that-
GG, Greg Ghost Crawler Street? GG.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The number one story of the week on Game Breaker is, yes, Mr. Greg Ghost Crawler, G Street King of the Beat, finally announced where he went to. And, he left Blizzard a while back and made the announcement. And he's over at Riot Games. Lead
Yeah.
game designer at Riot Games in Santa Monica, California. That's right. That's where he landed. Over at the home of League of Legends.
Woo.
I heard you guys play World of Warcraft. Is that true?
Maybe. I think we may from time to time play some WoW. So, yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, first of all, like, does it scare you at all that Greg, who's been around for forever, who's kind of been the face, he's kind of been like the face of WoW. He's gone.
He really has.
He's gone. He really
Yeah.
has. I mean, everybody knows him.
It was kind of a shock because it happened right after BlizzCon, right? I mean, he
Mhm.
announced that he was leaving like right after BlizzCon, and he was like, yeah, I'm going away. And everybody was like,
You know what's funny?
what's
Now
going on?
it makes all the sense in the world why he even came on our live stream, because he was like hammered and he's like, "What's up, guys? What's happening?" And I was like, "Greg, you gonna come on the show?" And he's like, "Sure, I'll come on the show, whatever." And I was like,
Exactly.
"Really? Like, really?" I was like double
Well, I'm like-
taking. I was like, "Are there like Blizzard secret agents around you? Because do you have to
Right.
go through anybody with this?" He's like, just sit down. We'll just talk about it. I don't care. Whatever. I was like,
Right.
okay.
And even at the Hilton, because I think we were all down in the Hilton lobby, and he was pretty cash down there as well. He was just like hanging out, chilling, just soaking it all in. So I mean, it was kind of Weird.
He was much more relaxed at this BlizzCon.
Right, he was.
Yeah.
He totally was.
Well, and
So-
that's got to be crazy for him. Like, he's on the stage addressing everyone, and he knows that this is his last one. Like, he knows. That's crazy. But anyway, it's a big shocker, man. Like, they made the announcement. BlizzCon happened. He dropped. Nobody knew where he was going to go. And there were a lot of predictions on where he was going to go. And I will say I might have made a little prediction about him going to Riot pretty early on.
Yeah.
Because where's he going to go, right? You're going to go from one of the biggest to the biggest.
Well, for me, I looked at his Twitter account, and I've got a cat named Mr. Magoops, and he actually kind of helped me out. He's a cat.
Oh, how is Mr. Magoops? I haven't heard from
He's
Mr.
good,
Magoops
man.
in a while.
He's out late on the prowl, solving cases, and he whispered me he spent all his money on cheap booze and even cheaper women. So I don't know what that meant, but he left.
He's getting a little pussy.
He told me to check out Ghostcrawler's Twitter, and I noticed on Twitter he only followed 26 people, and 25 of the 26 were all Blizzard or World of Warcraft affiliated, except for one man, and that was Morello at Riot.
Oh, good catch. Good catch, sir. Look at you.
But yeah, I mean, Gary, you kind of said it. It's like, where else can a guy like Greg Street go where he's going to be put to good use and be compensated well enough to, I mean, he's been at WoW for how many years? It was like 5, 6, something like that.
At least, yeah.
Right.
It's been a while.
Right. And so when you go away from Blizzard, it better be to like one of the #1 games around. And LoL needs help, sure.
Sure.
They definitely need help.
It's only the biggest game in the world. They need a ton of help.
Right. Exactly. They need help balancing out all the different things that are going on in LoL. I played LoL like 3 times, so I'm not really one to really.
He's like, the things and the balance of the things, and there's trees and a map, and I think people fight each other.
I may not play it a lot, but I know people that do. So I do have
not
ears.
play WoW.
Well, it's a good thing that, I mean, League of Legends is so different from WoW, so that's really great. Right. And you talked about even before the announcement, like, change is good. It's good for the soul. Want to try something different? So that's a great thing. But I have to wonder, because the League of Legends community is pretty famous. They've got a reputation, and it's not exactly positive. You know what I'm saying? So
what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just curious what they are thinking about this whole thing, because they tend to be a pretty vocal crowd.
Yeah, as soon as it was announced that he went over to Riot, I was like, oh, so the WoW community wasn't enough for you, was it?
Right. You want to take on these a-holes. Here you go, Greg. Right. Welcome to the real community.
Yeah.
But here's the other big question is, do you think, I mean, of course they're never going to say this, and of course they're saying he's going to be working with, it's Morello, right? But is he really?
Bum, bum, bum.
Should have had it queued. Right. I mean, you gotta think of a company of Riot's size, the amount of people, the amount of money that they have, projects being developed. Would it be completely unimaginable that they would be possibly maybe working on an MMO? I think not.
Do they have a project named Titan over there?
Right.
But for reals, could you see them? Maybe, do you think, it's a possibility that maybe they're working on some super secret MMO project and they want the best, and hey man, who else do you bring over besides Greg, man? You just bring him in and get some feedback on that. I don't know.
That's true, but I think when he left, he said that he was not going to be going to another MMO. So
of course, he's got to say that.
Well,
he's got to say that.
It's not necessarily a thing that he has to say. It's just
sure, but if he said, "Hey, I'm going," MMOs. Well, I guess if he said, "I'm going to another MMO," and then you go over to Riot, people are just like, "Oh my God, they're making an MMO."
Exactly.
Right. But I think he's probably going to be working in LoL. That's my guess.
So, WoW is dead now. So you guys should probably just pack it up.
That's it.
Cancel your accounts and sign up for that free-to-play game that you don't have to pay for.
It's done.
It's called League of Legends. You can learn about them trees and them characters.
Even though
Ooh, dog.
even though they announced the possible pre-order coming up for Warlords of Draenor, you know,
What is that?
yeah,
Breaking
it's
news?
over.
it's dead.
Breaking
It's
news
dead.
about
Yeah.
that dead
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So it sounds like as just for those WoW guys out there, it sounds
No,
like
well,
you know,
tell me this news.
Warlords is coming to. Well, Warlords
what's
is
the
going to
news?
be coming to closed beta fairly soon. They're looking at closed beta fairly soon for Warlords, and they're also going to be doing a pre-order. And when you do the pre-order, you're going to get your instant 90.
Yes.
So that's kind of
God damn, the Blizzard knows how to hook you. The Blizzard knows how to hook you, don't they?
they really do. They really do.
They give you
Annual
that
pass.
juice, baby.
Now it's the 90.
Yeah.
If you pre-order, you get your
Right.
free 90.
Right.
They
So
should
do it.
just register and create a religion and stop paying taxes. Really, at this point, because that's really what it's
Yeah.
coming to.
Yeah. They also released a new mount today, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that one.
Oh, it's
Damn it.
awesome!
Damn
It's freaking
I know.
awesome.
It's great.
It's got to
really
be.
cool.
It's like the coolest mount I think I've seen in WoW. The Sky Reaver, the Iron Sky Reaver. Let me
Yeah.
pull it up here. It's
Yeah,
it's literally it's fantastic.
It's a
the group who worked
two-headed
on this.
beast with afterburners. I mean, come on.
Exactly. It is like the epitome of
It's crazy.
badass.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything
Really
put
is.
into one, no, for sure. But it's good though with this WoW, with this digital pre stuff. It increases hype. It increases awareness. Oh, they get jazzed, and the free 90 thing early on is just brilliant. And they also talked about other ways that you can pay for other 90s, like some of level up your other alts up to 90 that they're going to come out with soon. So it's just another way to build, and people get excited about WoW and a free boost to 90. Like that's great. So
Right.
So what's going on with Greg's position? Has there been a bunch of news on that? What's going on with that?
There has been no official word, as far as I know, on his on anybody filling in for his position. However, right now there is a guy named Chad Nervig who is one of the systems guys, and he has been trying to take over for Greg for Twitter stuff anyway. And he goes by the Twitter name of Celestalon, and I knew you were going to play it down. So if you want to blame anybody, you can blame Celestalon. You
that's your
have the
cue,
song.
Gary.
That's your
I'm
cue.
trying.
That's where you hit the button.
There we go.
Celestalon, Celestalon.
Yeah.
Celestalon, Celestalon.
Oh, makes me so happy. Oh, it's a little.
Yes.
I can't wait to
something
see
like
what G Street's got to bring to the riot table. I wonder if they're gonna put him in. You think they're gonna use his visibility, his awareness in the social community, his face, and put him out there a
Yeah.
lot and kind of get him in front of a lot of people talking? Because I know, I mean, that's a really good asset to have. I mean, especially
Right.
now you can get out there and start talking about the Riot property and all the World of Warcraft. People know who he is, so they're going to listen.
Yeah, and he is. He's a big time celebrity. He's been huge in the WoW community. I mean, I almost wonder if maybe other Riot people are going to be like, well, he's a WoW guy and he's coming into our game. Like maybe it's possible that they might look upon that negatively. I don't know, but I mean, I will say, like on camera and in person and through social media, he's great. And he presents himself very well. He's great in the interviews. He's funny. He's intelligent, and obviously the guy knows what he's doing. So I think this is only a benefit, obviously for League of Legends. But again, I don't play, so I
Don't
know what the
give him
community's
too much of a big head here. I mean, come on now. He is,
thinking. Well,
he is going to the biggest company now. Like I said, he's an A-list celebrity. He's hanging out with I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. and
right, trying on the Iron Man suit,
Yeah.
the huge,
jumping off the Chateau
Well, I mean,
Marmont with.
hanging out with
Paris
Steven
Hilton.
Seagal all day long.
Oh yeah,
you know.
he's a big one. He's a big one. That's Steven.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, he is. I mean, Ghostcrawler is pretty big, and he is the most well-known guy from World of Warcraft, I think, anyway. And when he left, and now he's at Riot. I mean, they might as well use that to their advantage if they can. Why not get him out in front of the public and have him start talking? I mean, we've seen more devs come out in the last probably 2 or 3 years where they really come out and really try to communicate directly with the public. And I think that Ghostcrawler is one of those guys. He can really do that very, very well and very effectively, and maybe even bring a new audience to LOL. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I have to agree with
unless
you.
when he's hammered at conventions. That watch out, Ryan. 'Cause
Right.
when he gets hammered at conventions,
Yeah.
he's a handful. He gets arrested and all kinds of crazy things happen. That's not true. None of that is true. I just made that all up.
No.
I don't think he's ever
But
been
one thing-
arrested.
Well, that is true, though, about the devs coming out, and I think it kind of started maybe with Ghostcrawler, but you see it now with WildStar, with Carbine.
Right.
EverQuest Next, like the devs are like right there. They're like, you will help build our game together. You know, it's like this thing. So devs now are more than any other time that I've ever seen are more involved with the community and have a really more of a one-on-one interaction than ever before. So yeah, I agree with you, Pat, and I wonder if Ghostcrawler in some ways kind of led that charge to where we are now.
It's social media and leading the charge. Really, it's so much. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, live streaming, YouTube, all this stuff is kind of made,
That's true.
I mean, look at us, 3 jerks hanging out on the internet talking about stupid shit in video games, and people are watching it for some reason. I don't know why, but they gave us a
Well,
platform.
Gary,
and
let's be fair. It's 2 jerks in Coltrane.
Oh,
Well, I'm the biggest jerk of them all.
next up, biggest story of the week is the Game of Thrones season 4 launch date and trailer. You guys Thrones fans? Who's not? I mean, come on now. I hope.
Well, I
everyone's-
don't have HBO.
Oh, perfect! I'm so glad we're going to talk about this. And
What? You're joking.
I don't have HBO. I mean, I've seen we
just
have
steal
the
it,
first
pirate
season.
it. That's what everybody else does. They write articles about this all the time. It's the most pirated show on the internet.
It is. It really
Haven't
is.
you heard?
It really is. Yes, I have. I have
So,
actually.
Get to it, Mr.
Not
Crane.
have
So have you
HBO,
never
man?
wait? Have you never watched Game of Thrones? Have you never seen
No,
it?
I've seen it. I'm not up to date.
How have
I'm
you
not
seen
up
it?
to date.
How have you seen it?
Season 1. Somebody gave me the DVDs for it. So there.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
It happens. I have so much TV to watch, guys. Come on.
Oh.
How can I?
Oh.
But I know what happens in the last season. I know what happens. Little
Spoiler.
wedding. Mhm.
Spoiler.
Little
Easy.
wedding.
Easy.
Little wedding.
Little
You don't
spoilers.
even see. You don't even know like what led up to that. To you, he was like, "Oh wow, that's really something." But to us, we're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like that's like major. I mean, we're not spoiling what happened.
This is like the geek gamer MMO player video game heads show. It's like every gamer loves I mean, everybody almost in the world loves Game of Thrones, but gamers especially. It's like, wow, for the first time, fantasy done right.
right. Now, have you seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies? Or
I don't
Those are
even know what those
shits,
are.
Coltrane. Don't even talk about those.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
don't even know what those are. I've never even
Peter
heard of them.
Jackson. Pah. The Hobbits.
That's right.
Smaug? Who is Smaug?
That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, I personally am a huge, huge Game of Thrones fan. I started reading the books and then stopped because, well, here's the show, and it's it's great. So
Right.
I'm a visual learner, but I love the show. Love the show. Just like I think every other geek out there, and is just drawn to the show. The quality of it is amazing, and obviously, the books are incredible. Everybody loves it, and I just love how. Oh, you like this character? Well, he's dead.
He's dead.
It's so hardcore. You know what I mean?
Oh,
great.
new season coming. It was announced. Again, it's so funny how fast, talking about social media, just like travels so fast. I mean, they announced it and boom, it was like everywhere within 20 seconds, like all over the place. So April 6th is the date that everybody's got their calendars marked for the Game of Thrones. Do you do like the whole Game of Thrones party thing as well? Do you do that, Coltrane? You don't do that.
Well, I did once. I didn't like dress up, but I had people over. And
Did you wear pants?
I called my wife Wench, and we all watched Game of Thrones. No,
There
but
you
I
go.
just-
That sounds like a party.
That's right. No, I had some people over for a little Game of Thrones. It was
Hey,
great. A little
I've got an idea.
barbecue.
3 of us, Game of Thrones show. It's a
Huh?
party. Huh?
Huh?
Sunday
It's a
nights at
dead
10
man.
p.m. Game Breaker just got a little bit more fun, people. Starting April 7th.
That's right.
No, 6th.
I'd have
April
to get
6th.
HBO.
He'll get HBO. April
April
6th. The show goes live at 9 Pacific. We watch the show and go live as soon as it's done.
Wow.
I'm talking
But we
hit.
gotta get Pat HBO. That's a big
That's
one.
right.
That's
All right. I
probably
think
priority one.
We'll fit HBO into Pat's budget.
Yeah.
He's got
There's
a
got to be
writer.
a package coming out where you get that and stars or something. We got to figure
Right,
this out.
right.
for him. That's just outrageous.
I'll
You
just,
guys
I'll
seen
just switch
Pat's
providers
rider?
again.
It's incredible. It's like take the blue M&Ms out of the bowl.
That's right.
I
I
don't
need
like
$8,000 all in ones sitting
I
on
don't-
my desk
exactly.
before every show of Game Breaker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's
That's
really
the way
high
it
maintenance.
goes.
Really high
You-
maintenance.
Coltrane
have
is
to
one
put that-
thing. Mic check. That's it. He's like,
That's
I
it,
just,
mic
That's
check.
all he
I need,
wants. That's
I
all
need
he
a
wants.
mic
That's it,
check.
baby.
I need to make sure
We-
these pipes are in tune and good.
Yes. What
We
about
are-
you, Gary? Are you a big Game of Thrones guy?
Yes, I love Game of Thrones. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, so I can't wait. It's like I
What do you
watch
think of the
very
trailer?
little. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think it's really cool.
I love it.
I don't.
They always end like trailers like this with the classic like sword plunge into title.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And they even
Oh,
this
you're
was
the,
like,
you're a trailer guy, so you should be able to pick this thing apart.
well, no, but they
You're like,
actually
well, if
did
I
some-
edited this,
Let me tell you. No, they did some phenomenal. There's some great cuts there. Yes, I'm an editor, okay, and they did a brilliant job, and they did do the classic sword plunge into title with Jon Snow. Don't you know Jon Snow? And it's great. But they really did a great job. Love the music. I really love the music of the last trailer. They used like a Mr. Miss or Mrs. Mister.
Mr.
Remember that
Mister
band?
from the '80s, yeah, Mr. Mister.
No, yeah, right, exactly. They went with the Journey cue, really out of left field. Wow.
Just a
Really
small
incredible.
town girl.
Yes, exactly. What do you think, Jon Snow? Living in a lonely world. Really a different angle, but effective. Very
Joffrey
exciting.
took the midnight train going.
That's right.
It's either that or an AC/DC cue, right?
Oh, that would
It's
be
one
great.
or the other.
Hey,
It's
or
one or the
Dio.
other.
Can we put Dio to that trailer? It'd be a
Dio.
whole new
Yes.
thing.
Dio.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking Game of Thrones show. I'm throwing it out there.
Oh,
I'm making an
love
open
Game of
call. Game of Thrones show on Game Breaker. I think it'd be great.
Let's
Stop
do it.
stop talking about these video game crap.
That's right.
Destiny. You guys excited about Destiny? Coming from Bungie, the creators behind Halo, creating a little, I guess, maybe an MMO, maybe not by that title. Who knows? They won't be disappointed
Right.
if nobody calls them an MMO. So they're not really too worried about being labeled as an MMO, which is interesting. Because nobody truly, everybody's got their speculations about what Destiny's going to be and how it's going to work. We talk a lot about MMOs on Game Breaker, but I mean,
How do
most
you
people.
think it's gonna? How do you think this is gonna come down, Gary? I mean, as far as Destiny goes, in particular. I mean, I've seen the trailers and stuff, but I haven't been keeping up on, everything Destiny. It looks really cool.
You
from
think
all the
like
trailers, but-
pertaining to sort of like how it may work in the sense of multiplayer. I think it's going to be more of. I mean, they've come out and they have said that like it will have a story arc, so it's going to have a beginning, middle, and end. There will be an end to this, and there's also a plan of a seven games of 7 different games coming out
Right.
over the course of the next X number of years. So we know there's going to be an end to it. I see it more working as like a multiplayer co-op game that you're going to be able to really easily jump in and jump out of with your friends.
Kind of like a
and then-
Warframe or something like that.
Yes, maybe with the addition though, as you're moving through the world, this is my speculation, that as you're moving through the world, or you will hit these areas and hubs that then you see other players. So you're going to come into like
Gotcha.
more, maybe for MMO vets, we maybe call them sort of public quests. Well, think of me. I'm thinking that public quests will sort of, or public areas, I should more say, will sort of be sanctioned off and maybe strategically placed, like, I don't know, like maybe, we're going to jump in and we're going to do a mission together. Like, and it's kind of like story based, and we're going to go to this like abandoned factory. And as we're crawling through the factory, like, we can't see any of these other people, and it's like, it's our sort of instance, but then seamlessly coming out of this area or something, I think you may see other people and engage in fights and things like that with, aliens or whatever like that. But I don't know, my gut is that they're going to do it really in a really interesting way, that it's going to feel not very segregated. Like you're going to feel like you're just moving through the world
Cool.
and kind of move in and out
Gary,
of.
that's pretty detailed. I mean, that confirms you're obviously in the closed beta. So way to go. You just revealed that. You'll probably get banned, and that's that. A lot of detail there for
My
you.
PS4 is now smoking right now.
That's right. Oh, I think it might be like a factory, and then, you know, we'll need public plans.
And it has
My gut
beautiful
tells me.
lights coming down from the ceiling with particle effects that blind your way.
Right. There might
Have
be
you guys-
a quest called Where My Ninja's At, and you might have to fight, you know.
Have you all been
Clearly
following? Are you all following Destiny at all?
Yes, I mean, I'm a big fan. I mean, Halo, Bungie. I mean, these guys, they're innovators. I mean, this is the creators of Halo. These are some of the most influential developers that we've seen. You know what I mean? So, I mean, anything that they're doing, the first trailer that I saw, the teaser, when I first heard about it, I was incredibly excited, especially over, it's like 7 years. Like, there'll be this story arc, and it looks amazing. And I dig the sci-fi angle, and, I mean, I think everyone is really excited. A funny thing is, though, I think for MMO gamers, I was talking to some buddies who also play MMOs, and I said, you know, what do you guys think about Destiny? Like, well, the problem is that when you play an MMO, if you're not playing your MMO and you're playing something else, you feel like you're like wasting time, like you're not making progress on your MMO.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's like this weird kind of mentality a little bit with like hardcore MMO players that if they're not playing World of Warcraft or whatever, and they're playing something else, well, I'm not advancing my character. You know, I'm not doing this. I don't know if I have time. Kind of a weird thing for MMO players, but
They're very
so-
fixed. They're very attached. They're very, very attached to their worlds and their games. And
yeah,
it's-
that's
it
right.
is. It's,
so I
it's
wonder when
always
they
been-
say, go ahead.
when they say what?
No, I was just wondering. So when they say, you know, no one will be disappointed as long as you don't call us an MMO, like I'm wondering, I'm wondering. But now you've described in detail exactly how Destiny will play. I know exactly what it's going to be now. So it sounds
How
good
does
to
that-
me.
If that is sort of the case, though, how does that sound to you? Because I am honestly, like, obviously long-time MMO player, but I play a lot of other games. And I'll be honest, like in the past few years, I've fallen a bit more out of the MMO scene as much as, you know, I still play them and talk about them and cover them, but they don't resonate with me like they used to. And I think that the genre needs a stirring up. I think the genre needs some new blood, some new ideas, and some new ways to sort of think about what an online multiplayer game can be. And I don't know if Destiny is it, but I am so ready to see somebody's take on what
So,
an MMO could possibly be, it just being somewhat different.
so from you talking about exactly how the closed beta is,
Yes,
exactly.
clearly.
So you're saying what you're
Get me in
saying is
trouble.
that
You get me
it's
so in
kind
trouble
of-
right now.
it may kind of be like, or at least you hope that it may be something like a combination of like Warframe meets Rift meets maybe WoW and like daily questing or something like that, or in kind of the way that the world works. But some kind of combination of that could be kind of funky and cool.
I guess what
Right.
I've always been looking for, I'm a huge RPG fan, which is why I've also, you know, play a lot of the MMO stuff. And I've always thought like, wow, like when you're playing certain RPGs like Fallout or Halo or, you know,
Skyrim.
Mass Effect, I've always been like, wow, how awesome would this journey be if I was with 3 or 4 or 5 of my buddies? But that's all I really
Sure.
need. Like, I don't really need like, you know, the 500 people or something in a guild, but just a few of my friends to play with. And that's sort of, you know, the thing with Warframe, it's a little bit different because it feels, you know, it's very much like, oh, here's a mission map thing. And
Right.
it's not as,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
just
as,
dropping into dungeons essentially.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
a race to the finish, by the way, you know.
yeah. But, you know, if you could play Mass Effect and go through that entire story arc, or Halo and go through that entire story, and then be able to, because there's all those
Cool.
moments in those single player games where you're just like, have you ever, I'm sure you guys have had this when you're playing an RPG, there's always like some moments where you're like, wow, I wish I could share this moment with somebody. Like,
Yeah,
this
right,
was
right.
cool. And you're like alone and you're just like, all right.
But Gary, think about Star Wars: The Old Republic. When you were running those dungeons, that's kind of what that was. Those cinematic story things, and you're with your, 2-3 other buddies. That's kind of how Star Wars was, The Old Republic.
And he left. He just left. He's
Oh
like,
my
I'm
gosh!
just-
Is it because I said
dropping the mic and I'm
SWTOR?
He said, I'm dropping the mic and I'm out.
Oh my! I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I am a Star Wars Galaxies fan to the bitter end. I want you to know. SWG was where it was at. It's very advanced for its time, and no one appreciates how great that MMO was. This is before it completely
This is
went.
before
south.
the Old Republic and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
Right.
Wow, you really rage quit there. Holy cow, that's a hot button topic. That's a nerve.
You've struck it. You've struck the chord. You know the line now, Coltrane.
Well, I am kind of looking forward to get us back on track. I am kind of looking forward to some of these next gen MMO-ish games, maybe. So Destiny, what is it? What's the
Division?
Coltrane, what's the other one?
The Division and all the
The Division.
The Division,
and,
right.
There's another one. Damn, my brain just went all to mush. So I'm sorry that I can't recall all these names.
Perfect.
But
make words.
Exactly. But I did see a lot of games over at PAX and so on and so forth that I'm pretty excited to see what is coming out of these and what their vision of the new MMO is, or MMO-ish games are. So,
well, would Bungie be the guys? I mean, Halo, that pretty much changed a lot of things.
It really did. It really did. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Bungie is definitely one of those front runners.
What do you think it says though? Really quick, what do you think it says about, like, they're kind of coming out, like, does this put off MMO players and that market of player? That, I mean, when they come out and make a statement, like, literally like the quote, "Hey, we won't be disappointed if nobody calls us an MMO." Does that sort of turn off that genre, that crowd, kind of immediately? I wonder what those players think, or are they okay with that?
I think as long as there's a way to play with your friends, that most people will be fine with that. I mean, really, if, like, we know a lot of WoW players, go figure. And
shut up.
And these guys,
all three of those peeps?
Right, exactly. No,
7.6 million of them.
Now that it's dead, now that WoW is dead. No, but they play games with other folks that they know from WoW, and so they don't really discriminate. As long as they can play with their friends, they're cool. So I think that it won't throw them off completely. It may throw them off of, like, if it was a subscription game or whatever, then they may kind of try to weigh that a little bit, but that's about it.
I mean, I'm an MMO player, and when I read that, I raffle mouthed. I did. I raffle mouthed. So that was my reaction as an MMO guy.
Right.
I am super excited about this today. You raffle-coptered. You barrel-rolled it. How many things?
In my pants.
Can't wait. All right, this next portion of the Game Breaker Show is brought to you by World of Warplanes. If you guys want to check out World of Warplanes today, it is absolutely free to play. All you got to do is go over to the URL offer, gb.com/warplanes. That's the URL you can go to and download it. Check it out. It is absolutely free to play, not pay to win. I love that about wargaming.net. Zero pay to win. Every single item that is in the shop, but you can buy stuff, of course. It is a free to play game. But every single item in the game can be acquired just by playing the game. All you gotta do is play. You can unlock everything if you want. You don't need to spend a dime. I've actually been playing a ton of Warplanes. You guys, I don't know if you've checked it out. You should definitely check out World of Warplanes. I've been having a ton of fun.
I've checked out all the vids and they look amazing.
It's a ton of fun, man. You jump in and you start dogfighting, flying around. I love the acting. Like, I'm not really like I wouldn't say like I'm an airplane nerd buff, but like I like the fact that like all the planes are like accurate, like, time accurate, and by just the style and all the design of them are perfect. There's tons of upgrades. You can upgrade like engines and all kinds of other stuff, and it's really cool. And the other thing I absolutely love about it is you can get into matches really quick. And if you die, because you only get one life, but if you do die and you get shot out of the sky, I mean, if you're with your buddies, you can hang in there and you could spectate and watch them flying around. But if you're like me and you have ADD and you just want to jump into another game, you're like, screw my buddies. You just go right back into your you just go right back to your hangar, load up another plane, and jump right back into another match. So it's awesome. I've been having a ton of fun at it, and really glad to have these guys on sponsoring the Game Breaker Show. Check it out today. Woo! It's absolutely free to play. Got nothing to lose. Oh, definitely worth having on your desktop at all times. Just download it. Offergb.com/warplanes. Check it out. Offergb.com/warplanes. Next up, this was an interesting post. This was it was a list of the best games according to people who make games. So this was. slightly meta, but hey, that's the way it goes. So 2013's game of the year. I'll go with a couple of these. Like the Fulbright Company said it was Gone Home. Anybody play Gone Home? I did not play. I feel almost embarrassed to say that I did not play Gone Home. Polygon's game of the year, Fulbright's game of the year. I have to go back and play Gone Home.
I did not play that. I did play the Stanley Parable, though.
Oh, yes, you did.
Right.
And that was like one rogue episode of a show that may or may not
That's
be
right.
online.
That's right. You may or may not be able to ever find.
Right.
But I really enjoyed Stanley Parable. That was an awesome game. Great debut.
I played a bunch of
Yep.
these games. I played Grand Theft Auto 5. I played The Last of Us. I played Tomb Raider. So I played 3 of the 5. I didn't play Super Mario. I'm not a Wii person, but
Last of Us, everybody was clamoring over The Last of Us. I mean, it was just like
it is a
super amazing
fantastic game. It is a fantastic game. Everybody should play The Last of Us.
And I've been watching all of Mike B's videos on Grand Theft Auto 5. So
Super fun
and
game.
that's-
Oh, that game's
Right.
incredible.
I got
And with the
super addicted to Grand
online-
Theft Auto 5. I couldn't
Oh.
stop.
Right.
I
That's
did the
insane.
campaign. I didn't even really do much of the online stuff. I got the campaign. I literally locked myself in the house for like 6 days. I almost didn't do anything but play Grand Theft Auto. Even my friends who are like usually play games much faster even than I do. I was like, oh, I'm done. They're like, what? They're like, I'm not even 20% through the game. I'm like, I'm done. Finished it, bro.
Wow.
Great
That's right.
story.
Yeah, you had
Great
a full
story.
beard, and you
I
lost
did.
all your hair up top. It was crazy.
It was weird. It was a
Really
weird
weird.
time.
Transferred from top to bottom. The weirdest thing ever.
What do you think? What,
That
what's
was
your
when you
game
went
of the-
on vacation, if you remember.
Uh-huh,
I'm like, oh, Gary's gone.
Yeah, he's in
Gary's gone.
France. He's in France in
yeah.
the dining room and he's eating croissants and playing Grand Theft Auto
right.
5.
Grand Theft Auto 5. Exactly.
What was your game of the year? What if you had to pick something? What do you? Don't say World of Warcraft. If either of you say World of Warcraft or
I hate
SWG, don't say SWG and try to get back on my good side,
I'll
Coltrane.
say Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I will rage quit.
Right.
I know, you'll go crazy. I hate to, and we were just talking about it, but for me, it was Grand Theft Auto 5, the amount of innovation, what they did. And then in addition to the Grand Theft Auto Online, for example, I was playing with a buddy and he was in his apartment and I was trying to drive to his apartment and somehow I got in this cop chase and he was watching me from his apartment window trying to outrun the cops on the street below. Like, that's unbelievable. It was like a living, breathing world. And that's what Grand Theft Auto Online was. So you've got this amazing online multiplayer in addition to what you were saying, the campaign, which was just absolutely incredible. So, I mean, it was a 10 out of 10 on both ends. So
Damn,
for me,
10 out
game
of
the
10.
year, yeah, man, was Grand Theft Auto. I found nothing negative about that game at all. There wasn't a single moment where I was like, well, I could use a beard. Well, that doesn't make sense. But I just, there was nothing negative ever. So
Oh, man.
I know I
mean-
got you wearing a beard for now, Gary. It's just
That's
weird.
it. I'm wearing a
Get this
beard.
out of my head.
I have. What am I doing? I'm like looking
What
for
do you got? Your
water, like-
groceries there?
all
What do you
over
got?
the place.
hang on. I gotta
It's
look
his
for a-
pho from earlier. right?
Well,
Get
you
some
know,
coffee
the,
creamer.
the production assistant didn't bring water and stuff to the studio, so I gotta fend for myself. What is this? God damn it! Just let me get a water. Wait, who am I yelling at?
This is.
Are you talking to Steve the drummer from across the? From down the hall?
I'm yelling at myself because there's nobody here except me. So, but I have people. I have people.
That's funny.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I think it's definitely at the top of my list.
Right.
Now you make me want to go play the multiplayer because I didn't play much of the multiplayer. I just did the single player stuff.
Oh, it's the best part. Best part. There was another example. I walked out of like a gun store and I hear gunshots being fired. I look out in the middle of the intersection. There's some lady just shooting, and then all of a sudden she gets run over by a car. It's like, whoa! Like, it was just, I don't know. Anyway, it's just the Grand Theft Auto online experience is something I think is better than the campaign. It was just unbelievable. So you
Right.
got to check that out, Gary. Come on, man.
I need friends. I gotta go on vacation again. So we'll go on
That's
vacation.
right.
Vacation.
Beard.
Vacation.
What about you, Pat? What would you say if what would you have to pick for 2013?
Grand Theft Auto 5 is definitely at the top. I think that I like BioShock Infinite. I really did.
That was a
I
great
thought
story.
that was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool. Last of Us definitely gets up there as well, and then I'd probably have to go with Tomb Raider as well. I mean, those were all solid games. So, I don't know if I could pick one out of those, but they were all very fun.
Did you see the comparison of them upgrading Tomb Raider from PS3 to PS4?
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Amazing stuff. Really great.
Cool.
And that they're up the graphics update is gonna. I don't know if it'd get me to buy it again. I actually love Tomb Raider. I thought it was a great game. I kind of wish I played that. That's it. I think it's the only mark I give against Grand Theft Auto 5. Actually, I was a little disappointed with the fidelity of the graphics.
Oh, you're a graphics man.
I am. I am.
Right. Well, look at Age of Conan. Boy, that sure looks pretty on day one. But look at it now. In other words, Gary Gannon, looks fade, my friend. Looks fade.
Would you buy? Would you either of you guys ever buy games after they re-release them like that? Like they're gonna probably re-release. I'm sure they're gonna re-release Grand Theft Auto probably on PS4 and with updated graphics and like they're doing PS4. Would you guys re-buy them and play them again?
See, I'd go the other way almost. It's like where I would go to PS4 because PS4 they're going to be re-releasing all their PS3 games online, right? So you're going to be able to get older games from PlayStation online, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I might buy older games that way, not necessarily newer games, but older games for sure. So there.
I'd buy the like somebody said in the chat room. Deece Creator said that he's waiting for the PC version of GTA 5. Like that's one way to do it. The only way that I would do it is if I only have like a PS4 and that's the only system I have now. For some reason I've lost my old whatever and I need to do that to play that game, then yes I would. But I wouldn't just re-buy a game just for updated graphics. If that's the only thing that it brought to it was a prettier engine like this Tomb Raider. You know what I mean? If there was more incentive, if it brought like this huge multiplayer and all this other stuff, then I would do it. I just need more incentive as a gamer than just brand new pretty graphics.
Right.
I kind of agree.
Although it does look cool.
It does look cool. I don't know if I definitely don't think I'd buy it again. I don't know if it's worth playing all the way back through again. But I guess if I was just buying a PS4 and I didn't purchase it the first time around, I probably would. All right, next up, this did you guys see this Pokemon card? I mean, this is just insane. Yeah. I mean, possibly the rarest Pokemon card in the world, worth possibly $100,000. It didn't sell for $100,000, so I guess it's not technically worth $100,000. But they were trying to get $100,000.
It's only worth what you pay for it, Gary. And nobody paid $100,000 for it. So
they paid $20,000 for it. So there are some cards out there worth. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Are you guys collectors at all? So like, are you guys Pokemon fans in general?
I know Pat is. Pat's a huge Pokemon fan.
I think isn't Shaftnet like a big isn't Shaftnet like a big Pokemon guy?
Probably.
I think his nickname is the Illustrator. I think that's his actual nickname.
Shaftnet? Yeah.
Shaftnet is
$20,000 for the Illustrator. That's how much it was for that card?
Well, the asking price on eBay was $100,000. They put it up on eBay. They were looking for $100K because it is estimated, I think, to be worth more than that. But I think it fetched 20, which is still quite high, but a lot less than they'd want it to get, though. I don't know.
Didn't they set their minimum? I mean, how do you go from $100K and then you accept 20? Or was it like OBO 20K?
OBO start at $1. I'll take anything.
Right.
This isn't The Price is Right. Come on, you don't start at $1.
What? Right. I mean, do you think this is a good investment? Do you think if you 20, 100, whatever you spend on something like this, do you think in 30, 50, 40, 80, 100 years or whatever that this Pokemon card is going to be actually a good investment to trade this in and make some money?
Oh,
because I feel like it's kind of scary, right? Because I remember you think about this, we're all old. Look, guys got gray hair. You're a bunch of old farts.
How dare you, Gary? How dare you? Here, let me put these on. I'll look younger.
I will.
Now I look 20 years younger.
You remember as a
like
kid.
You're in the 80s.
You do. Especially with that neck dance.
Yeah.
You remember when you were a kid though, and like everybody thought that like everybody had a comic book collection, and you had stuff that was worth something, and like parents thought they were gonna like put their kids through college with their comic book collection. It's gonna be worth money. That shit ain't worth anything these days. Like that stuff just plummeted.
Right.
Sometime in the 90s, it just all fell out from underneath it. And it's like, yeah, of course, there's still some comic books out there that are insanely rare and they're worth some money. But back in like, at some point, I don't know. You got to really wonder, is this like a really good investment? Is this like, could you spend $100,000 on a Pokemon card, or should you maybe go spend $100,000 on like a piece of fine artwork or something that actually may hold some value? I'd be really.
Or how about
skeptical.
just buy gold? Let's just do that.
Gold?
Just buy gold. It's all gold.
I mean, I'm still holding out for some old Garbage Pail Kids.
Yes, because
those
those are worth millions.
might cash in.
Totally worth it.
Absolutely.
I hear you. Yeah, I invested everything in baseball cards, and then I stuck it between the spokes of my bike, and I ruined my fortune. So
I mean, I remember I had this one card. I can't remember what comic book it was, but I had a collector's card just like this from a comic book. And I completely remember at the time it was like this foil card, and it was kind of like this 3D thing, and it was signed by the artist. And I had it in like this plastic case, and I used to keep, I still have it to this day. I've got nothing else for my comic book collection. I've got this card. So I've kept it. But I remember at one point it was like my prized possession of like a collectible card. And at the time, I think it was worth like, I got to say it was worth like $600 or $700. I literally couldn't give this goddamn thing away at this point. Like, no one would want this. The artist was hot at the time. The comic book, like, there was all this talk about, I think they wanted to make a movie, like, all this kind of crazy stuff. It is worth nothing. Nothing.
Right. I've got an old Mad magazine that was signed by all the artists of Mad magazine
wow.
that I still have.
There are collectors of every type, so I think that there's definitely some play. I don't know about 20,000 for one single Pokemon card, but I mean, for a good collection, you could probably rake in some bucks, because there's always going to be some guy out there that wants this stuff. But I think it has to come as a part of a set, not just as like a one-off. That's my thought anyway.
Yeah. And,
Well,
what
the
is
rarest-
one man's trash is another man's treasure. You know what I mean? So to him, to the buyer of this Pokemon card, it was worth $20,000. To us, what?
Yeah,
That seems crazy. So
it's worth about a plug nickel for me.
that's right.
Pat, you look like a collector, though. You look like a hoarder back there. Look at what's behind
No,
you.
I just have a bunch of crap behind me. That's all I have. But like
Stuff.
I have.
But what's the rest of your house look like? Is it just covered in that
It's
junk?
just all this stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
Holy cow.
So
I think, weren't you on that show Hoarders? I could have sworn I saw you on there.
just like twice. It
Oh,
was
gotcha.
it was only 2 times, and they haven't come back yet. I think next week maybe.
I mean, your house, it literally looks like Pitfall. I mean, it really does. I understand.
He's
Yeah.
just
where-
jumping over shit all over the
Right.
place.
It's insane.
Jump around. Diddle-a-dee-dee-dee. Yep, that's me.
Gentlemen, pleasure being back. Episode numero 3 of Game Breaker. Coltrane, follow him on Twitter at _Coltrane with a K.
Yes, sir.
And the neck dance begins. Pat Crane, follow him on Twitter, Pat Crane. No neck dance from Pat Crane.
No,
Probably
no
not.
neck dance.
Nope.
Sorry. No.
Probably best, because this is just uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that.
I don't think I can do that either, man. Make sure to go watch Convert to Raid. Follow the guys. They both do a show on World of Warcraft called Convert to Raid. Go over to convertraid.com. If you just want to check out the live show of Convert to Raid, it's Sundays at what ungodly, morally morning hour?
9 a.m. Pacific. 9 a.m. Pacific.
Gamers aren't up at 9 a.m. Pacific on a Sunday? What are you guys, crazy? It's like if it's a morning drive show to church, listen to Convert to Raid.
That's right.
There you go. We got another new show on Game Breaker TV just launched this week. It's called This Week in Steam with Kat Andresco. Make sure to check that out on GameBreaker.tv. This Week in Steam. Awesome, great show. Getting really great response, covering all the upcoming week's greatest top Steam releases. So go check that out as well. I lost my music, so I guess that means we're done.
It's
Bye.
like,